This is Jess from SHR News reporting on the daily scientific news. Today's topic is peroxisomes, which are organelles surrounded by a single membrane that are found in eukaryotic cells, but do not contain their own DNA. They are called peroxisomes because a reaction that takes place in them uses molecular oxygen to remove hydrogen atoms from specific organic substrates in an oxidative reaction, therefore forming hydrogen peroxide. Catalase uses this newly produced hydrogen peroxide to oxidize other substances, such as formic acid, formaldehyde, and alcohol. This organelle is especially important in liver function, as it detoxifies various toxic materials and breaks down fatty acid chains. Infantile rupsome disease, a paroxysmal disease, is caused by an inherited defect in any one of the 12 genes called the PEX genes, which are required for the normal function and formation of peroxisomes. This disease is inherited in an autosomal recessive manner, and children of two carriers have a 1 in 4 chance of being affected. Symptoms begin in infancy, including retinitis pigmentosa, which is a visual impairment that often leads to blindness and hearing problems. Other symptoms include nystagmus, hypotonia, and ataxia. Mental and growth disabilities, abnormal facial features, enlarged liver, white matter abnormalities of the brain myelin. In most cases, intellect is lost because of damage to the brain, which also affects motor movements and causes the overaccumulation of very long fatty acids and phytanic acid. It also causes a lack of bile acids and plasmalogens. Plasmalogens are specialized lipids found in nerve cells, which begin to die when the myelin sheaths do not fully encase them. Phytanic acid is an acid that is naturally consumed in dairy products, but because they cannot be broken down, they build up. The first and most common method of diagnosis is the measurement of plasma very long-chain fatty acid concentrations. High levels of plasma C26 to 0 and C26 to 1, and the ratios of C24 to C22 and C26 to C22 indicate a problem with breaking down paroxysmal fatty acids. In addition to this method, there is also molecular genetic testing, which determines which genes contain the defect. Treatment of infantile rupsome disease is symptomatic and supportive, as there is no cure. Patients are told to avoid foods containing phytanic acid, which prevents further accumulation. Feeding tubes are usually required to provide adequate calories, and hearing aids may be necessary. To preserve vision, cataracts are removed. Also, a supplementation of vitamin K and other fat-soluble vitamins is recommended to help with the accumulation of very long fatty acid chains. Standard anti-epileptic drugs can be used to control seizures, and suction may be needed for those who cannot manage their saliva. The prognosis for this disease is sometimes unclear. The disease always results in death. The lifespan of the individual depends on the severity of the disease. However, most people affected by infantile rupsome disease live through childhood and into their 20s. There are several cases where an individual has lived to be elderly, but most people die earlier on because of the severity of the disease.